Chapter 231, Public Laws, 1975, the State of New Jersey. Excuse me. The Planning Board Secretary has prepared a schedule of the meetings of the Planning Board of the Borough of Kenilworth for the year 2022 and has posted a true copy of this schedule on the bulletin board located at the front entrance of Borough Hall and has mailed true copies of this schedule to the local source and the Star Ledger and is maintaining a copy of the schedule of Borough Hall. Accordingly, the notice of requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act have been satisfied in regards to this meeting. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Paserno.
Here.
Mr. Finestrella.
Here.
Mr. David.
Here.
Mr. Clementi.
Here.
Mr. Pantina is excused. Mr. Mazzio.
Here.
Mr. Ladowdy is excused. Mr. Colella is excused. Mr. Scuderi is excused. Mr. Herbalario is excused. Mr. McFone, Mr. DeLuca, and Mr. D'Amato are excused.
Well, a lot of excuses, huh? Okay.
We have a quorum.
Yeah, we do have a quorum. A motion for the approval of the October 13 minutes, made by Mr. Clementi, seconded by Mr. Finestrella. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Communications, Kevin?
Madam Chairman.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, resolution and application number 2-21, diverse development, Mr. Rego.
2-22.
2-22, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This was application for dimensional variance relief for an undersized lot at 580 Clinton Avenue. The applicant wanted to construct a single-family house and a garage on an undersized lot. There were no issues with dimensional variances for the building itself, for the structure itself, but there were variances for minimum lot area, width, and lot frontage, which could not be cured. There was testimony that no adjoining property owner would sell to the applicant, nor would the applicant sell to any neighboring property owner. That the board heard the testimony and approved this with our normal conditions. The issue of lot merger arose, but we determined that it was not applicable to this application.
Anybody have any questions or remember it that way? Okay. So, is there a motion to approve that application? Made by Mr. Clementi, seconded by Mr. Finestrella. Roll call, please.
Let's see. Mr. Paserno.
Yes.
Mr. Finestrella.
Yes.
Mr. Clementi.
Yes.
Mr. Ladowdy and Mr. Herbalario were absent.
Okay. So we're good there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, so that's done. Before we move on to the comments of the board, I just have a question. And maybe you would know that. And I understand why those things have to take place. I mean, we went through that with this last resolution. I forget the name of that street, by the church, the first time when we rejected the application and they went to Superior Court, and then they came back and then the judge says, North Avenue. And then this here.
Greenwood's here.
Right. So, and that's why we had to approve that, because they would have won that case anyway. Not that it was the greatest thing to approve. But what would be the minimum lot that someone could do that on? Let's say, give it a corner piece of property, just like it was on Merrick Avenue. But I believe that was around 33 feet under 55. But if it was 25 feet, if it was, and I think we broached that, right? What would be the minimum allowable where they say absolutely not?
If you have a lot that is zoned, let's just say residential, no matter what its size, if it is privately held, there is a presumption that the borough allows development. We're on the record, so parse my words. And any landowner can come to the borough and say, look, you cannot say my property is undevelopable because it's zoned. You've given me the right to do something, and if you don't want me to have that right, you can buy my land from me. So whatever the size of the property is, unless it's ridiculous, and only the court can make a final decision on that. But you're probably talking somewhere in the teens for width. And at that point, the borough would have to buy it. The smallest house I've ever seen is 15 feet wide.
Really? That small?
Yeah.
Well, I saw one at 15 feet, and that's why I asked the question, because you need the setbacks regardless.
Right.
Have to have setbacks.
And,
They could only be a few feet instead of the required.
but on York Avenue, if you remember, that's 2 front yard setbacks, right?
That's correct, because it was a corner.
But we also gave some leniency because on the left side, I guess that's 21st and 22nd Street, because there's no other house there, we pushed that house over. So there's a lot of ways that gets
Yeah,
manipulated.
but if I recall, wasn't that house 25 feet wide?
No, it was 32 or 33.
The actual house width was?
Oh, no, the house was
I thought it was around
20-something, 22, 23.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking it was around 25, but that's still a lot bigger than 15.
Yeah, let me add to what Kevin said. I think he, right on the money with regard to the size of the lot. There does come a point, and you really can't figure it out ahead of time. If someone comes in with a piece of property the size of this Bible, they're not getting anything. I mean, you bought it, that's it. I've seen lots that are totally unusable, totally unbuildable. Someone owns them. The only thing you can do is to sell it, offer it to a neighboring property owner to add so they can plant their grass. The other time we can say no. This application that we just approved, if they came in originally for a 2-family on this lot, we could say relatively easily, no, this is all single-family homes, you're an undersized lot. I've seen people come into town, really tight properties, and they want 3-family, 4-family, and a board would say, no way, if you come back with a 1, maybe a 2, we'll look at it differently. And that protects you in the event there's an appeal, because you go to the judge and say, we told them no on a 3 or a 4, but we're open to a 1 and a 2. Judge, here's that, no problem. And then you go back to the board, not be a pig about it.
Right.
But so if they came in, if it's a single-family lot, a single-family zone that's small, other than making sure that the small house complies with codes, and there isn't a whole lot we can do about it. But if the land is ridiculous, and if they want more than what the zone, 1 or 2-family, 3-family, then we have a lot of leverage.
And also remember that the end result of that is that somebody would have to take us to court.
Right.
There's not a lot of people who are willing to do that. But in that particular case, they had a very savvy attorney who knew what they could do, what they can't do, and making an appeal to the court is not terribly expensive compared to coming here.
Yeah.
With all the experts and the plans and all that.
It's
But
pretty
not a
interesting,
lot of people would pursue that.
because I go up that block every day, and I look, and I remember the case, and I say, wow, that's amazing. But then I look and I did a double take. So you gotta see what's going on in the yard. That
100 zoning officer.
That is the most crazy thing I ever saw. That's, there's a huge shed back there, which is almost on top of the house and on the neighbor's fence, with a smokestack coming out of the back, meaning that they're cooking something back there and eating meats. But I'm not here to try a case, I'm just saying, here we are.
Keep that out front, Christmas ham for the sign.
You want to see, if you get down Long Beach Island, where every piece of property is for sale for the right price, I've seen houses down there that are really narrow, 15 feet maybe max. You put them on a corner lot, they build them, and it's...
Well, there's different laws down there because of the short.
Yes.
Well, I think we need to talk more about that in our workshop too, and I like your thought about 6 o'clock, because there's a couple of properties, and I don't know if this is right now the time to do it, but there's a couple of properties that I'm seeing that we have approved on a single-family home on an oversized lot, but they couldn't put 2 houses on it, but pushed them back far enough to have that empty lot. So that's what we need to be careful of, how we do that. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Moving on. Comments for the good of the board. Anyone have any comments?
No, I mean, just my usual, it's the last meeting of the year to wish everyone here, your families as well, very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. and a happy and healthy new year.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Same to you. Same to everyone. Yep.
I think we all echo that, and I personally want to say thank you again for a fantastic year. This board has proven itself in and out every time. I like the fact that we could exchange our ideas and thoughts in front of the people, and where we were steadfast on a decision, we recognized that it really wasn't the way, let's move into the other way. So I'm very honored and proud to be a part of you gentlemen and ladies, and Mr. Venestrella. You did a great job here with us this year, and we really appreciate it. So I want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone as well.
Rich, should I change the time till 6 o'clock when I advertise for the meeting dates?
For this meeting, I think it would be good, for the reorg meeting, right?
Just for the well, I thought going forward you wanted the
Oh, going
work
forward,
session.
Greg,
You want
you
the
think
work
we'll-
session to be 6?
I don't, excuse me, I'm sorry, I have a,
Because it's on the, it'll be on the advertisement. Right now it says 6:30 work session.
This is for the 5th or the 12th?
This is for
Future work.
Work sessions. Yeah, I mean, again, it's hard to speak when there's so many people not here.
I know,
But, you know, like,
I think with some of the things that
It is
we
what
had
it
to
is.
cover on the reorg, I would like to have it at 6.
yeah, I mean, for the reorg, whatever you opt
Can we
for
do
is
it
fine.
at 6
I
and
can make
then
it at 6.
change it back if we see it necessary? Is that a problem?
I'm going to advertise this in January.
Okay.
And we won't be meeting until after January.
Yeah, so I guess you're saying whatever decision is made, that's a
Yeah,
firm decision.
let's make it 6 o'clock and
Okay.
the rest will have to roll with it and,
Yeah, they gotta roll with it. You don't show up, you don't get it.
you know, so we'll make it 6 o'clock. the
Yes,
work
please.
sessions.
And then we're gonna make all work sessions 6 o'clock?
Yep.
Yeah,
For next year, okay.
Fine with me.
that's fine. If we see it
And the reorg is
not working,
6:30 though.
we move.
And the people who work,
Oh, so you just said the reorg at 6.
You want the reorg at 6 now?
No, the
Isn't that what you just
reorg
said?
work session, right? Don't we have a work session for a reorg? Oh, we don't,
No.
that's right, we don't.
That should be a quick.
Yeah, that's an in and out, but I thought we were talking about this other stuff on that day. Don't we need to talk, or no?
No, I mean, I'm not sure what you would want. Tonight, we don't have to,
the
you know, I don't know if we should talk about it now.
reorg is the reorg, and then Kevin Ryan will be here, so.
Right.
Reorg is a reorg, and if we want to extend that a little bit, or we could do it on the 12th.
Yeah.
But you won't be here.
Yeah. No, but I mean, and you're talking about for the professionals? Talking about the professionals?
No, what was?
No, I mean, so what did you want to talk about before the reorg meeting? That's where I'm confused.
Oh, well, we do need to talk about the professionals who we're going to put in place, but everybody should know that before.
Yeah, but I'm saying, so that's what I was just gonna say. I mean, we can, you know, we have a lot of time and, you know, we're legal in our meeting here. We can talk about the professionals now. This way, the resolutions are all prepared
Okay.
for the reorg. I mean, I don't know.
Should we open this meeting to the public first, adjourn, and then come
No,
back?
I mean, we don't have to adjourn. We can discuss this as part of our,
Okay. How about we open this up to the public?
yeah, I mean, we should do that, yeah.
Someone,
I'll make a motion to open the meeting to the public.
motion made by Mr. David, second by Mr. Clementi. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone from the public wishing to speak? Mr. Herbert, come on up, state your name, address, record, bicycle type.
Yes, you know me, Bob Herbert, 14 North 12th Street, Kenilworth. And before I ask my question, Mr. Chairman, you brought up the bicycle shortly last night and today. I just want to let you know, I was using the bike at that time for some exercise, so I didn't get old and chubby like yourself. I'm in the village, all right?
Touche, my good man.
All kidding aside, when I was out there, I wasn't on the clock. But I was proactive because I was the official. I saw things. And one of the biggest things in town at that time, when I was active, was a lot of vacant and abandoned homes. You know, when we went through that 3 or 4 years ago, and I brought to the mayor and council an ordinance that they passed. And the great thing was we got all these properties cleaned up, got nice, respectable families in there, protected the adjoining properties that are valued and appreciated. And as a bonus, with those those abandoned houses, I brought in about $350,000 to the town. So that bicycle really worked well, good exercise, yeah?
And
So
I'm
I
proud
just
of you.
wanted to let you know that, that's it.
Thank you very much.
But all kidding aside, I'm glad you guys brought up the master plan. That was one of my questions, where we're at. I understand, but I just want a little clarity that once you guys get everything in place, that the subcommittee, brought to everyone, and you guys vote on it, to approve it to the planning board, then doesn't that go to the mayor and council for a final vote? Because that's your recommendation?
No.
Or no, they have no say on the master plan at all?
No,
That's a planning board, no.
planning board decisions.
Well, normally there are two council representatives, or a representative and an appointed member for the mayor, if they so choose, on the planning board. So that's where the governing body has input via the representatives. But as far as a vote, and approval or not approval, that's the planning board.
And that's it.
To implement ordinances, yes,
There you go.
the governing body has to do
Well,
that.
some of the changes
Or not.
are going to be ordinances, kind of like
If there's an ordinance,
Yeah, we don't have anything to do with
if
ordinances.
there's an ordinance, we can only make that recommendation. This is what the planning board discussed, this is, we beat it to a dead horse, right? And then we would set it up and say, here, this is what we have done. That's what the council liaison does.
So let me ask you this, then. When you get to that point where you think you're going to be voting on it as a planning board as a whole, is there going to be any open time for comment from the public? Will there be
Absolutely.
advertisement that
Sure.
these things are being proposed, or it's a done deal?
No, it's transparent.
That sign on top of that door shouldn't say chambers, it should say transparency. Absolutely. So we absolutely, we don't do nothing here behind closed doors, we don't go into a session, we don't do that. It's right out in the open. And if you're gonna say it, you gotta back it up, so, absolutely, Robert.
Too bad Washington DC isn't like that, but that's not.
We'll be here all night.
All right, everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and everybody has a healthy and safe.
Merry Christmas,
Same to you.
you and your family. Anyone else?
All right, motion to close the public portion for comment?
Motion made by Mr. David, seconded by Mr. Mazzio, all in favor?
Aye.
So we're not going to adjourn the meeting, we're going to talk about our professionals at this point.
For next year,
For next year. So we had an opportunity to take a look at some of the paperwork that was sent in, correct, Mr. David?
RFPs.
RFPs, requests for proposals. And we received a ton from the attorney and a ton for the planner. But we don't
get qualified ones this time around.
However, we did see your request for proposals, we read them through. There was nothing really to compare it to, but it was in line with what you did last year and the year before. There have really not been any increases that we saw. I didn't see anything. Mr. David, what would you like to say about that?
No, I mean, in terms of, for the board members that are here, we only have one RFP for attorney and one RFP for our planner. They happen to be our existing attorney and planner, so, I mean, unless we're unhappy with the performance of these two individuals, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't reappoint them in the new year.
Exactly. And, it's not just the chair and the vice chair, it's the board members,
Right.
we talk about that all the time. You have witnessed what these guys have done for us. I can tell you firsthand that I am 100% certain that Kevin and Lou combined have not billed us for a lot of the things that they have done, and you guys know that as well. So they have done a great job so far. And
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Oh, I didn't know where that came from, but you're welcome. So we also have 3 RFPs for engineering. Of course, it's Harbor, Boswell, and O'Connor. And as you guys know,
Grotto.
Grotto Engineering, Rich O'Connor used to be our planner, our planning board engineer years ago, but we took a look at the numbers, and that was really, really important. And quite honestly, we saw that the numbers still outweigh in Harbor's favor. It's not just about the numbers, it's about the performance, the work, the ability, right? If we saw that the numbers were a little bit more and Harbor was not doing the job, we have to go with the second pick because we would recommend it to our board members that that's what we would do, but we don't see that being the case. Am I correct?
Yeah, again, I'll let Aaron and Jeff speak up as well, but, and then Frank, I mean, they've been representing us, and in my mind, I don't see any significant differences in the rates between the firms, at least between Grotto and Harbor.
Right.
I didn't really get a chance, unfortunately, to look closely at the Boswell, so I don't want to comment on that one. But yeah, I mean, we know, we've been working with Harbor for a number of years, and in my mind, unless the rates are significantly higher, or we weren't happy with their performance, you know, they know the borough.
And some of the other things that we take into consideration is that as the planning board, we're an autonomous group, so we have the power or the ability to pick who we feel is the best for our borough. But we also have to take into consideration, is that detriment to our governing body as far as an engineer is concerned or things like that. I can't speak for the governing body, but I can say that I know that I think that Harbor was doing a pretty good job there too. So we're hoping that it runs parallel. So we're hoping. Anybody, you guys have anything to say?
No, Harbor, like Greg said, they've been here a long time, they know our town well, they do a good job. Of course, Lou and our planner also do a great job. And I'm in favor of them all coming back.
So we'll prepare the resolutions for the reorg.
I think so. What do you think? Do we agree that we should prepare a resolution? I mean, first of all, do you want the job?
I'm assuming they put an RFP in for interested in the bond.
Do you want?
What the hell?
So,
You're a great board to work with.
okay, thank you. So I think, don't forget, guys, as Mr. David said earlier, there's going to be a reorg meeting on January 5th. There's going to be some changes. There's going to be some faces. There's going to be some people that are here. There's going to be some people that are staying and some people that are going. Not by us, but there could be other people that are here. But we have to get this done now because we have to conduct business. So this is what we would like to do. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we go to resolution.
Okay. Can I just reiterate, you want the work sessions for the following year to be at 6 o'clock?
Yes.
For definite sure. And the reorg, you want to be at what time? On the 5th?
6, right?
That's what it said.
6? Okay. 6 o'clock. Got it.
All right.
Okay.
So there is enough, the one thing I had a little bit of concern is that obviously if we're making the recommendation that these are the professionals we're going to appoint, if we didn't have at least 5 votes here tonight.
You can't vote tonight.
No, I know that, but I mean, I don't want to be embarrassed on the 5th because let's say we only have 4 members here tonight, right? Which is not a quorum, and we put these resolutions forward and the rest of the board knocks it down and then the professionals are appointed. That could happen, but at least with knowing that there are 5 members here who, well, Joe, do you know, I mean, is Mr. Morrow replacing you as the, you don't know yet? Okay.
Nobody said anything to me.
Okay.
I want to sit in and...
Well, then I guess it's kind of a moot point then. But anyway, that was my only concern.
Yeah.
We can have the resolutions
Yeah,
prepared and hope that there's enough support.
First of all, on these two gentlemen, we don't have another place to go.
Right.
Unless Kathy, you want to do the planning.
But she's learned enough.
Yeah.
He got a JD in high school between them.
We cannot function as a planning board without a planner, an attorney, and an engineer. So going forward, I think you prepare the resolution, and if something changes, it changes, I don't think it will. Because the time for the RFP is over. So the only thing that may change,
Is the vote, when we vote on it on the 5th.
yeah,
We
but
vote on it.
I don't see that happening. I don't think so. Okay,
We are good then.
okay. Now you know what it is.
I know, it's time to make a motion to adjourn.
Motion made by Mr. Davis, second by Mr. Mazzio, all in favor?
Aye.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you.